Now, one of the striking aspects of what we are seeing around us at the World Economic Forum is how Indian minds are shaping the world AI economy. And many of them are products of the Indian education system. And I'm joined by one such very special individual, joined by Deepak Pathak, CEO and co-founder of Skild AI. Deepak is a Bareilly boy, went to IIT Kanpur and is now leading a company that's building software that can act as a general purpose brain for robots. And you've just done a major round of funding. First of all, let's talk about the company itself. Building brains for robots, allowing different machines to perform different tasks. Break it down for us. What makes Skild AI so different?
So when you think of models like ChatGPT, for instance, right, you think of intelligence. You think of, okay, it's like a human-like brain behind the computer. When you think of machines or robots, what do you think of? You think of hardware. You almost never think of the intelligence behind it. And if you have been seeing like demos around the world, you can find demos lasting like 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, back from 1970s. Anything you saw in 1970s in terms of technology, it has come to real world today, but where are robots? And the reason is, it is not the hardware, it's the brain which has been missing for all these years for these systems to work very well in the real world. Even when as a human, when you go do a simple task like opening a door, you may not give it much value because almost every human can do it. But that is the reason we have intelligence. And language, as we speak, as we think, math is all byproduct of that. So
break it down further. You're saying you're creating robots with brains. Yes. Am I correct?
Brain for robots. Like it's a single model.
You're creating brains for robots, which will enable them to do
what humans can do.
What humans can do. So effectively, you'll replace humans. Now, there are those who are listening who will fear, that tasks which today are done by humans, if Skild AI scales up, robots will take over. Give me an example of what your robots will do, which humans are doing at the moment.
Well, if you put it that way, it seems pretty sensational, but we are very far from the general capability. But if you think about in terms of what humans can do today, like in US, for instance, there are already over 1 million jobs unfilled, which means there are more jobs available than people are able to fill them. And that gap is continuously increasing. It's supposed to be 30 million by 2030. So at the same time, there is also unemployment. So which means there are jobs which are unfilled and people unemployed, which means people do not want to do certain kind of jobs. And this is becoming more and more clear over time.
So your company, because I'm told that you're now deploying robots in enterprises such as manufacturing, inspections, data centers. So you're already halfway down there to effect.
I would say 0.0001%.
So what's the future, Deepak? Do you see a world where robots, say 10 years from now, do a lot of those tasks that you say remain unfilled at the moment? Or will they end up taking away jobs, which is the big fear? In countries like India, the fear is you'll take away jobs.
See, in India right now, there is labor surplus, right? And then the cost of wages do not justify full automation yet. So India is in a good place. But if you look at many other countries, for instance, Japan, Korea, and other countries, you will find this one noticing thing. The birth rate is declining, and the average age is increasing. And it is expected in like 10 to 15 years, there will be way more elderly people than we had even like 30 years back. And at the cost of less young people. So while this is a good question about India, but rest of the world really needs this right now, not even 10 years into the future. So what do I see as the future? Well, I do not know the long term, it's like very far away, but in the near future, we will see enterprise-like jobs getting filled by robots more and more than we see today.
I must ask you this where I started off. The journey of a Bareilly boy going to IIT Kanpur and now in California, is this are Indians shaping the world? Will you all come back at some stage to innovate in India? Because one of the challenges for AI is going to be the pace of innovation. Yeah. China is way ahead of many parts of the world, certainly India, when it comes to innovation in AI. Will many of you want to come back? Will you partner with companies in India? Do you see that as your vision?
We already opened an office in India in Bangalore, and we are already actively hiring in this space. I think one thing I would say is usually if you look at something already is happening outside, we tend to build the same thing in-house. But in case of India, we have to think from first principles. Like for instance, if you look at the current manufacturing, the hardware side of things, China has major lead compared to any other country. Like their supply chain, rare earth metals, with the global trade war and all the sanctions going on, there is always, everybody is looking for next player beyond China where manufacturing can increase. And India is a great contender in that field. Why? Because India already has big automotive market, manufacturing. You have electronics. For robotics, it's not yet there in any country in a major way, but India can have a chance, like they can surpass everybody because of automotive manufacturing. They can piggyback on the supply chain, electronic supply chain, and we're already trying to encourage that in India.
Do you have a picture of one of your new age robots that you can show our viewers?
Well, I don't have right now. I don't carry the photo, but I have given the videos, so they can.
Yeah, so we're going to use your videos over the conversation because
of them, like
it is transformative. And as I said, it's great to see young Indians. How old? You know, when I first saw Deepak entering the studio, I wasn't sure whether some intern was just walking in. Then I realized he's a CEO and a co-founder of one of the cutting-edge robotic companies. How old are you now? 33. Well, that's...
4 maybe, I don't know. Plus minus 1.
Okay, but it's great to have you on the show, Deepak, and giving us a sense of what this new age of robotics is going to do. Thanks very much for joining me at the World Economic Forum.